Hey! You are listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? Got to take care of a few things before we jump into this week's episode. First, our Ramping Isometrics for BJJ program. It is a 12-week program, all laid out for you. It's going to help you build strength and cardio in the fastest, safest, and most convenient way possible. This is how James and I have been training for the past year, and we love it. So we put this program together so you can just follow along, and we are certain you will see and feel the benefits that we do. It's only $15. Just go to grumpyguybjj.com, click the drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner, and you'll find it. Next, R3. This is our K2 D3 supplement. It is a combination of those two vitamins, D3 and K2. These are two vitamins that James and I have been taking for a long time that really help us recover from hard training sessions. And for only $15 with free shipping, you get a whole month's supply. I was going to pull up some studies explaining the benefits of D3 and K2, but I'm not going to insult your intelligence and pretend to be a fucking scientist. I take it. It helps me recover. That's it. So for $15, check it out. And last but certainly not least, we have partnered up with Jiu-Jitsu.com. They have a ton of awesome BJJ instructionals, and they have hooked us up with a discount code for our listeners. It's Grumpy10. So what you got to do is you go to Jiu-Jitsu.com, which is DIGITSU.com. Find the instructionals you want, throw them in a shopping cart. In the little discount code box, you type in Grumpy10, which is just GRUMPY and the number 10, 10. That's it, no spaces. Boom, you get 10% off. You're up and running. They got a nice app you can download on your phone. That way you can take your instructionals right to the gym with you, watch the technique, drill it. It's a pretty sweet setup. So once again, DIGITSU.com. Discount code Grumpy10, GRUMPY10. Simple as that. To find all this stuff I just got done talking about, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com. Click the drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner. There, you'll subscribe to our newsletter for podcast updates. You'll find links for the Ramping Isos program, the R3 Recovery Supplement, and then under the Programs and Products tab, you'll find a link to Jiu-Jitsu.com. And let's be honest, if you guys can't figure out how to navigate a website by now, there's nothing I can do to help you. So quit fucking around, check it out, train hard, and let's get into this week's episode. And here we go.
Here we go again.
Once again, this is a special episode, episode 100.
This is it, huh?
Kind of. The numbers got a little messed up when Apple Podcasts changed their format, and there was a number discrepancy between what we had and what Apple said we were at. And so I just accepted defeat and just went with what they were saying because my OCD wouldn't let me go the other way. Because it was one number off. Like I said we were I think it happened around 80 something. Like I said we were number 82.
This is Apple's 100, not our 100?
I can't remember which way. It could be.
Okay.
It could be our 100 and their 101 or vice versa.
We gotta go on our clock. That's the only thing that
I
matters.
changed our clock.
No, you can't do that. This isn't the Mayan calendar, my friend.
It is. I changed it.
You can't just pretend just because the world didn't end in 2012 that it means something else.
It does mean something else. Now it's episode 100. In my world, I've come to terms with it.
Okay.
This will be episode 100.
Well, people will be wondering why you're celebrating on one episode and I'm celebrating on another episode.
We'll have 2 episode 100s.
But that'll, but 104. So that's the 2-year mark.
That's the 2-year mark. Yeah, 100 is just some arbitrary, just because it's 100. But
yeah, dude, it's funny, man. 2 years is a long time, but it's not. It seems like we went to that Steve Maxwell thing way more than 2 years ago. I don't know about you.
Does it to you?
But if I think about it, man, it seems like it's like 2 years, and I'm like, wow, I would have guessed at least 3.
No, I guess it seems about right if I really think about it. But 2 years, dude, that 2 years went by fast.
Yeah.
A lot's happened in that 2 years.
No, a lot's happened in that time.
So that's why you feel like it's a longer time period.
Yeah. I feel like it's been a full, definitely. I know from a training standpoint when I look back and it's like, holy crap, it's only been 2 years. Like how much that influence and how far like what we were doing came. And it was funny, like working with those guys that came to my camp this weekend. You know, I took them through the ramping isometrics, and so I was doing the 30-20-10, And then we went to the squat, and I was kind of like playing around with some different like number scheme or, different like time sets things. And so I had him do 20, 15, 5 on the squat. And that was perfect because, any more than that, and it was going to start turning into a real shit show. And we've seen it turn into a shit show when you're doing 30, 30, 30.
Yep.
And so, but yeah, and I was telling him that. I was like, dude, I started out doing 30, 30, 30 on pretty much everything. We were just, that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
And it's kind of surprising we never thought about changing that up sooner.
Well, I think that we both had the idea of we're going to follow the recipe.
Yep.
We're following the recipe, and we're going to see how it tastes, and we're going to see what we get from it. And then once we thought, at least for me, I felt like once I really understood the recipe, I felt like, okay.
Now I understand it.
Yeah, now I kind of, and it's like you start to realize, this doesn't quite, like, maybe I can make this taste a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like, what's my goal here? Well, my goal is to create as much tension as possible. Well, fatigue is the enemy of that, right? As soon as I feel fatigue, then that means that my tension levels are starting to drop off. And so, that's why you want the time on the ramping isometrics to almost be, you feel like too short. They end and you're like, I wish I had just a little bit more. Whereas like the banded stuff, the time stuff, like you want to end, like you want to hit that failure where you're just like, oh my God, I don't know if I can survive, and then it's done and you're just collapsing into a heap. So, but that's two different things. Like you want that length of time, you want the fatigue with the longer ones, because the fatigue forces the body to figure out a better recruitment pattern. It figures out a better, like, how do I hold myself in this position better because I'm fatiguing. It forces it to be more efficient. But you don't want the fatigue when you're working on creating tension. And so it's almost like two different goals that you're trying to achieve with the two types of isometrics. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that's what we were, what I was showing those guys. But it's pretty interesting. Like when I think about it, I'm like, man, it's a pretty fucking cool system that I think I've come up with, like combining the banded stuff, especially the banded and reps, and the ramping and kind of some of the different time things. And it's like, because what it is isometrics. Everyone knows isometrics are good, but why don't you use them? Like, why haven't you used them before?
I mean, I was aware of them slightly. Like, I'd heard the word before, but just I had never had anybody explain them to me, the benefits to me, and how easy they were to implement. They were just kind of foreign. Yeah. Like, you hear it, and you just... But I never thought of investigating it. I never had anybody I respected, like, hey, man, try these. That's probably why I never implemented them.
Yeah. No, they're kind of impractical, or in a lot of ways, they're just, like, inaccessible for a lot of people, because you hear about them, and then if you do see stuff, it's like, well, wait a minute, how am I supposed to... How do I put that into my program? Like, how does this work? And so... yeah, and then a lot of, I think I mentioned this before, like, like the power rack was actually created for isometrics. Like, that's why it has the pins at the different heights. It was to do isometric holds and pulls at different positions within your squat, bench, and deadlift. And so, that was the other thing I was pointing out to him, is that, we look at strength athletes and how do they use isometrics. Well, and this is what kind of makes it confusing, is like, well, they're doing isometrics and they're doing their other lifts, right? They're still doing their other lifts. And so you think that, like, well, if I'm going to use isometrics, I've got to fit it in with my other workout, my regular workout, right? Mm-hmm. But you forget that, like, well, no. An Olympic lifter, a power lifter, like, lifting weights is their sport. So they're not doing isometrics and lifting weights. They're doing isometrics and then practicing their sport. Right. Their sport's just lifting weights.
The sport's lifting weights.
Right. So, but that's what they're doing. They're doing isometrics plus their sport.
And, I was thinking, it's funny, I was kind of thinking along that same lines the other day, is because a lot of what we get from, a lot of stuff that we go to when we want to design our workout programs, to benefit us as athletes in other sports, we always go to the weightlifters, the Olympic lifters, the power lifters. But that's where people get lost a lot, is they forget that is that person's sport, is lifting the weight.
Right.
And so it skews. What they are trying to accomplish is different than what an athlete in jiu-jitsu is trying to accomplish. And so it gets a little, there's some gray area, some fogginess.
Yeah.
And it's hard to distill what the good stuff out. I mean, it's all good stuff depending on your desired outcome, but the stuff that's best for you, it's hard to kind of figure out, like, okay, this is why they're doing this. I can kind of do the same thing, but I have a different goal. So, yeah, it takes a lot of years of playing and experimenting and
beating the shit out of yourself unnecessarily.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, man, people get obsessed with those numbers, and it's like, if I'm going to be strong, then I need to be able to deadlift or squat or bench like X amount of weight, and it's like, man, that weight should be a byproduct of other things. Like, we were kind of talking about this before the podcast. It's like with jiu-jitsu, it's like, you may be using your foot or your hand or something, but like, it's doing that because you're turning your shoulders, or you're doing something else that causes that to happen. If you focus on just like pulling with your hand or kicking with your leg or whatever it is, you're gonna miss the actual thing that's causing it, right? You're focusing on the wrong thing. And so that's the same thing. If you're a jiu-jitsu athlete or any sort of athlete and you're focusing on the numbers, it's like, the numbers should be a byproduct. Like, you're doing the right things that are making you stronger, and so you have that strength that you can use in that way. But it's not just because you have that strength that you can fucking be a good athlete. It's looking at it backwards. But yeah, man, it's just like in a technique in jiu-jitsu, you focus on the wrong fight, you fuck the whole technique up, man. Fuck the whole technique up. So like, what's the most important fight when it comes to your training or what you're trying to accomplish? And I was like, the other thing is like, what is so strength, right? So strength's important. We both still agree strength's important, right? Yeah. So strength's important. It's that the analogy a lot of people like to use is that it's the glass that all of the other abilities go into. So like, the more strength you have, the bigger that glass is. So the more potential you have for power and, on some level, endurance. People forget it's not just endurance, it's strength endurance. They just chopped off the fucking strength for brevity's sake, but it's still strength endurance. So you still have to be strong. But what is the elemental, like, what is strength? Like, not like there's a, you're looking at something, but it's made up of, there's an atomic structure of strength. What is the atomic structure of strength? It's tension. Like, that's that elemental, that's the atoms of strength. It's your ability to create tension and using a tension pattern where, you're recruiting muscles in a certain way, you're relaxing other ones, you're creating high levels of tensions in ones. It's all, the better your control of tension, like, the better strength potential you have. Right? And I think that's the point that we keep harping on with the isometrics, is like, when you really, okay, strength's important, but what, like, the elemental nature of strength is not the deadlift. And you peel back and you dig deeper into strength, there's not a fucking little deadlifter in there. Like, the deadlift is actually higher up the chain. Like, that's a manifestation of strength. Of the tension. Of the tension, right, exactly. But, so what is the best way to work on tension? Isometrics. Like, there's no fucking, it's not even a debate. And so, yeah, it's funny. I was like, I think I got that point through to them, a couple times. They would, I'd be showing them something with a mace, and they're like, oh, it's only 10 pounds, don't you need more weight? And I'm like, it sounds like you're trying to get stronger. Like, we took care of that earlier with the isometrics. Like, so why do you need a heavier mace again? Like, you sure you've gotten everything you can out of this one? Heavier, yeah. Right, yeah. But like, that's that mindset, though. If you're trying to use the mace to get stronger, that's a different mindset than like, I've already taken care of getting stronger. I've worked the elemental nature of strength, and now I just need to work on some movement and practice movement, work on perfecting movement, mastering my movement, and now that's a different goal. And that keeps you out of danger from doing stupid shit that gets you hurt, like lifting too much weight or doing that extra rep, because if I can get that 5 sets of 5.
I told myself I was getting 5 by 5 today.
Yep, exactly.
I gotta get that fifth one.
With this weight, because my volume, man, if I look at the numbers, I did this and this, and if I don't increase the load, the intensity by 5% every week, then I'm off my numbers. And then it's like, wait a minute, that's a power lifter. That's how a power lifter fucking lifts to peak for a meet. Are you a power lifter? No? Like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing here? But, Yeah, man. It was it's cool. I'm gonna put together a program here in the next couple months, like with my system for isometrics. And my goal with it, really kind of going beyond just like mountain biking, is like making isometrics accessible to everyone. This is a practical way to use isometrics. You've heard of isometrics. You know that they are important, or they're powerful things or whatever. But you just don't know how to use them.
You don't know how to implement them.
Right. And in the absence of a simple, easy way to use them, you know what you're going to do?
You're going to say fuck it.
Fuck it and do nothing. And so if I can come up with a very simple but powerful way for people to start implementing and using isometrics, either alone or as part of a bigger program, then I don't know. I think that's I think I'd be doing a service.
It's funny that we jump right into this conversation because one of my routines on Sundays, I come up with my training program for the week. And I always have kind of like a overarching, 6-week or 8-week, 4-week cycle, whatever I'm working on. And today I was just thinking about that. I was how I'm going to split it up. I got to get home. When I get home today, I'm going to write it down. But I'm going to alternate and do like one day like a movement-based day. So doing some back squats or front squats, whatever it is, and some other shit that day. Push, pull, hinge, squat, movement based. So on Mondays will be movement based. Tuesdays are going to be isometric stuff, and just alternating. And Wednesday will be movement based. Thursdays isometric stuff. And that's how I'm going to do it all week, just alternating. Yeah. And I'm kind of excited about creating that. I was like, man, I think that's going to work out really good.
Yeah.
Because I'll probably I'm already thinking like on my isometric days, I'll do some more movement-based warm-up type stuff. So, like a jump rope or some burpees, for 10, 15 minutes. Just get the heart rate up, break a little sweat, just feel good. And then, boom, do my isometric stuff, and then that's it for the day. Maybe some mobility stuff or whatever. But, yeah, I think there's something there. And coming up with an easy way, like a program like that to implement, you can just plug it right into your system.
Yeah, no, that's it. Like the movement-based stuff isn't a problem for people. Mm-mm. It's like, no, I got a million workouts on that. Like, how do I do isometrics? And it's like, well, here you go. Like, this is, the banded and the ramping. Like, they're two different things. Like, the banded's working on improving your recruitment pattern within the movement pattern, and then the ramping's working on your ability to create tension within that movement pattern, and then. These two, and then you can add in other workouts around them or use them as a standalone. But all you got to do is just take these 2 20-minute workouts twice a week and watch the fucking magic happen. Mm-hmm. And again, like using because it really makes, the more I think about it, I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's fucking retarded to try and get stronger lifting weights. So, I'll explain why it's retarded. It makes no fucking sense if you think about it, all right? Because if I'm going to lift weights, I'm just talking regular lifting weights, right? Like just a regular deadlift. Okay, if I'm going to put a bunch of weight on the bar, I'm going to lift that weight in an attempt to get stronger. And the reason is because, you're only as strong as your weakest link in the chain, right? And so, when you're lifting a weight, you're only optimally loading one link in the chain, right? There's only one point in your range of motion that's being optimally loaded. The rest of it's being underloaded. That's why you have a sticking point that dictates how much load you can use, right? So you only have one link in the chain. Like if you need to work on that link, or you need to figure out a way to optimally work on all the links. Because what happens with regular strength training, with regular weightlifting, is that you're only optimally loading one link in the chain, but you're exposing all the other links in the chain to stress and injury potential, like unnecessarily. So like it doesn't. If you really think about it, you sit back and like, okay, I need to get stronger. I need to strengthen either the weakest link in the chain, or I need to figure out how to strengthen all the links in the chain. Not just focus on one link in the chain while exposing all the rest to unnecessary stress and injury risk, right? Especially if your sport's not deadlifting. If it's fucking, what you're trying to do is improve your strength within the hip hinge movement pattern, which manifests as a deadlift or other things. But that's your goal, is really that hip hinge movement pattern. So you're trying to improve your strength in the hip hinge movement pattern. And if you're just lifting weights, it doesn't make any fucking sense. You're exposing yourself to unnecessary risk of injury potential, extra stress on the rest of the body when you don't need to. You can use isometrics to either target the specific weak link that you want to target, and once you strengthen the weak link, you strengthen the rest of the chain, right? There may be a new weak link in the chain, but the chain itself is now stronger, and you can work on that. And that's the easy way. That's the minimalist way for strengthening the chain. The bands are the accommodating resistance. So as you move, they get harder. So now you're actually optimally loading each link in the chain. And that's why West Side Barbell, the chains, the bands, like that's what those things are doing. Besides the speed element, is it's also optimally loading the entire range of motion instead of just optimally loading one point of it. And so if you're going to try to get stronger, it seems to make sense to either do strength training or use some sort of accommodating resistance that allows you to load the entire thing. So something like bands or whatever. But just like lifting heavy weights in an attempt to get stronger, like I said, if I'm open to argument over it, but if you sit back and you just kind of think about it, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That's been the way it's been done for decades.
No, I know.
And that's the way Muscle and Fitness told you how to do it.
Well, that's the way you're still told to do it.
That's the way
Yeah. Because again, it comes from, well, who are the strongest people in the world, and then how do they train? And we just, you touched on that earlier. Like, well, that's their fucking sport. That's their sport. That's why they do these whole lifts, because they're practicing their sport. They're not deadlifting. They're practicing their sport. It's like I tell people, runners don't run for cardio. Runners run because it's their fucking sport. That's why they run so much. It's not cardio training for them.
That's their sport.
That's their sport.
Sport training.
Right, exactly. Like if you're an endurance athlete, you need to do a lot of your sport. Not because it's cardio training, because that's your sport. And that's the best way to get efficient at your sport. And efficiency is your key to endurance. Or like that cornerstone of endurance. So, same thing with jiu-jitsu, man. What's the best way to get better at jiu-jitsu?
Do jiu-jitsu.
Do jiu-jitsu. And if you're fucking beat up and sore from that heavy deadlifting session that you did the day before,
it's gonna fuck your jiu-jitsu up.
It's gonna bother your jiu-jitsu. But if you did a ramping isometric workout an hour before you came in to roll, you've optimally loaded that weak link, you've strengthened the entire chain in the process. As much as it fucking pains you to admit it, right? You did. You didn't have to move through the whole fucking chain to strengthen the chain. You just had to get the weakest link stronger. But now you're fresh and you feel good and you're able to roll, and it doesn't bother you at all. Like, which approach is better? Mm-hmm. But, people like to lift weights. And I get it.
I like to lift weights.
I like to lift weights too. But like I said, it's you throw a little weight on, but you just understand, like, I'm not doing this to get stronger. I'm doing it because I like to lift heavy weights. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to risk getting hurt over it. So, but, yeah, man.
Interesting. You know what I've been doing lately is doing the ramping ISO, the 30, 20, 10. Mm-hmm. Time frame, and doing that on Bob, the grappling dummy.
Okay, dude, yes.
And so, dude, it's so good. Like, I'll do a mounted, so just mounted on Bob, just squeezing, right? And so I'll do that. I'll throw a triangle on and just squeeze that. Just all different variations. Just using Bob, super grappling specific. Just getting into position, just squeezing for that 30, 20, 10. Trying to get my legs and shit ready, when I come back and can wrestle.
Dude, that's funny. I did that. I did my ankle lock hold. I would do the isometrics. When we came back from the Steve Maxwell thing, and it got me thinking about it, and I would do like a ramping ISO. I wouldn't do like 30, 30, 30, but it would be the same thing. And man, like just trying to rip the fucking ankle off, and you're just, so much tension. It's like, you could never do that to a training partner.
No
way.
I do that with the rear naked choke. I try to break foam rollers. Just make I'll get a foam roller and wrap up the rear naked. It's almost like a really good diameter and wrap up the rear naked choke. And I won't even set the timer. I'll just I'm just gonna try to break this thing for as long as I can. And just try to go. Dude, it's so exhausting.
Yeah. But man, that's a good way to build that positional strength.
Yep.
And it's funny. It's hard to explain people when you're trying to coach like ankle lock stuff is like, man, you're eventually, and you should build a positional strength where like, dude, I can snatch your ankle and hold it with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an isometric hold basically is what you're doing. Shouldn't have to hold something else that's what makes you fucking dangerous with your snatching up ankles. Mm-hmm. But at first you don't have it. And so not only do you have trouble holding, but as you try to extend and bridge into it, your hand gets dragged down to your belly because you don't have the strength to keep it up in your chest. And then the fucking ankle lock's gone, but Thomas keeps going for it. So we're going to break him of that habit. So if you're listening, Thomas, remember, hand in the belly button means the leverage isn't there.
Gone, buddy.
You may get a white belt who doesn't know what they're doing, but... if
you happen to get your forearm right into somebody's Achilles, just right, and you're strong enough, you can make it uncomfortable. You can make it uncomfortable.
But you got to keep that hand in the chest.
Yep.
You got to keep that hand in the chest. And that's one of those telltale things is like, hey, if my hand gets down to my belly, like odds are I've lost the leverage. And so I need to start looking for something else. And again, I'm speaking from experience because I still am at times, love to hang on to a good ankle. And but you hang on to it too long and you let them start coming up and get in position and you're screwed because, man, you have a moment where you still have position. Like you can still come up and make something good happen out of this ankle lock attempt. But you've got to recognize when you don't have it and start moving and doing something else. So that's my message.
I don't know if Thomas listens to us or not.
I don't know, but other people that train there do.
Pass the message on to
Thomas, did you hear them talking about you? No, what'd they say?
Better go listen, buddy.
That's right. That's what I want all you guys to tell them. Make them listen. Don't tell them what we said. You can even give him the timestamp if you want, but he's got to listen to us.
That's right.
Got to get the advice straight from us. But anyways.
Speaking of jiu-jitsu, dude, I'm pumped. ADCC's next weekend.
Yeah.
I was listening, Flow Grappling. They got their podcast. It's called Fistful of Collars. I don't know if you've ever listened to it.
No.
It's a pretty decent podcast.
That's funny.
It's 100%. We say we're a jiu-jitsu podcast, so we talk like 30% jiu-jitsu and the rest just bullshit. They talk pretty much 100% jiu-jitsu. And they had like an ADCC preview episode that just came out last week, a couple days ago anyways. Dude, just listen to that, get you pumped. Like, there's going to be some serious matchups. And I'm going to re-up my Flow Grappling membership just so I can watch those matches.
Got any predictions for us?
Dude, I'd have to look at the bracket because they don't put the brackets out. They have everybody who signed up in the weight classes, but then they don't release the brackets until
But
Friday.
Do you have anyone that you think's like, regardless of bracket, it's like this dude's like, it doesn't matter who he gets lined up with, like I think they're gonna win the whole fucking division.
So tough. There's so many good guys, man. Like it's.
Yeah, no, it's definitely stacked. I'm just wondering. I mean, because I'll admit, man, you follow the game and you've been in the game like way longer than I have, and so I'm just like, I know Josh Hanger and Craig Jones. You know what I mean? Like I recognize names, but there's a lot of people that I'll admit, like I don't recognize or I don't know a whole lot about, and so but obviously if they're in ADCC, like they're one of the top fucking 16 grapplers on the planet in their weight division. I would have to say, again, I might be a little off my weight classes, but like the under 66, because it's 66, 70, kilos, 66, 77, 88, 99. I think, what Meow Brothers under 66, I'd have to vote for him, in that weight class. But you start getting above that, dude. I think which I was looking at the names in the 77. Dude, it's insane, the guys that are in there. I think that's the one with like Wagner and stuff. And I'd do Wagner, like I'd root for Wagner, but I don't know, dude. Like there's so many good guys in there, and then in the big boy weight class, the one that Gordon Ryan's in, he could definitely win it. What's really interesting too, because Keenan's been out training with Downer Death Squad, and just recently a lot of the ADCC guys went and did one of the bigger IBJJF tournaments just recently for basically like a bunch of tune-up matches, but a lot of ADCC competitors were there, and Gordon was actually there coaching Keenan Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
And they were talking.
He won the Pan Ams or
so whatever it was,
yeah.
some sort of fucking IBJJF no-gi tournament. I forget which one it was, but yeah, and I guess they asked Donaher, are you going to be coaching Keenan at ADCC? He said, yeah, he'll probably be back and forth. He'll be coaching Keenan, and they come out and coach Gordon, and they could end up I think are they two separate weight classes?
I think so.
I think Gordon's a little bit. Keenan's a pretty good sized dude though. He's not little. He's real tall and lanky and obviously pretty fit. So he's pretty heavy. He's heavier than you'd think, But they could face each other. I think only if Keenan did the absolute. Can't remember how it played out. I was looking at it, but dude, there's gonna be so many good matches. Then you got Super Fight. It was Galvao and Felipe Pena.
Yeah.
Kind of some old dogs going at it. Part of me wants to root for Galvao. Yeah, I think I'd have to. I want to see him fucking smash Pena.
Yeah.
Just because he's GB. I'd rather see the Altos guy fucking.
Right, yeah.
Just wrestle fucking to death.
Dude. Yeah, man. Dude, he's a fucking legend, too.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, you want to see him. If anything, I like to see him go out on top. I'm not saying this would be his last one, but you'd have to think. He's retired from competing.
Yeah, for the most part. He'll come out for these big super fights.
Right,
and stuff.
yeah. But, it's. I'd have to guess he's probably getting near the end of his ADCC super fight career as well. So, but yeah, no, man. I'll be interested to see what happens. I'm not sure how much.
It might be even at next week at Grumpy Guy and Drilling. I might have my iPad on the side of the mat with ADCC matches going.
That's fine. Good. I'll be drilling what I see. That's the best way. Yeah, I like that move. Come here. We'll try that.
Part of me just hope. I think there's a couple in the smaller weight class. There's a couple 10th Planet guys. I don't know if Boogie's in it, but the other Gio.
Yeah.
I think he's in there. But I don't think there's very many 10th Planet guys this time. I think everybody's kind of this might be a little rude to say, but a lot of 10th Planet a lot of what they do is kind of parlor tricks. I hate to say it, but it really is. It's just kind of funky shit. And once people figure out the secrets to that, they figure out the answers to it, and then it's not really good, solid, fundamental jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's fucking kind of parlor tricks. And then once you find the answers to it,
they
got to go back to the drawing board.
Their top practitioners, I bet, would be successful under Marcelo Garcia or
exactly.
You know what I mean? You put fucking Boogie and Gio in his gym,
and
they'd still be fucking killers.
Yeah. They're good athletes,
right? And so I agree. I think that their system is
it's a good system.
It has good points, but an over reliance on it, especially if you don't have the freaky athleticism to back it up. Yeah, I know what you mean because you're not.
I'm not dogging it, but that's just my opinion of it. It's not good, solid, fundamental jiu-jitsu, man.
And I would say too, just on that same note, and this is a separate thing, but just on the same vein of the leg lock thing is not, has changed, right? Things change. The 10th Planet system at one point was holy shit,
ahead of the curve. They were
ahead of the curve with a lot of the stuff. And then, the curve moves on, and same thing with, the leg lock stuff. It's just it's still important, but man, there was a point where it was holy shit, leg locks are just the future of jiu-jitsu, and you know what I mean. We didn't. It seemed like that. It was they were leg lock guys were just running through fucking everyone for the most, at one point. But then people figured it out, and they started to figure out maybe Vinny Magalhaes is right?
Yeah, he's in there too, man.
Right.
I hope he does good. That's the thing with ADCC too. It's really wrestling heavy.
Right. It's wrestling with submission.
It's really wrestling heavy tournament. The rule set kind of dictates it in that direction.
Penalize the pull guard.
Yeah. So the
no points for the first 5 minutes.
I mean, there is PJ Barch comes from the 10th Planet system, but he was, I believe, at least a junior college, if not a D1 level wrestler. The fucking kid can wrestle. Or guy can wrestle.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't even know if he's in it. But if he was, I could see him being more successful than, because not a lot of the 10th Planet guys that come from a very real good wrestling background.
Right.
The guys that have a real solid wrestling background, or they spend a lot of time honing those wrestling skills, or have a little more of an advantage. just because of the rule set.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. But anyways, I'm pumped.
It's cool, man. Did you listen to that interview, the Matt Byrne podcast with Mo?
I did not. I saw it pop up on my feed, but I didn't.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy running
Right.
ADCC, so it was. Yeah, you'll enjoy it, man. He had some like funny stories about just dealing with different people. Dude, what was one, man? I forget. Somebody fucking got mad one year and just stripped down naked and then walked off the mat.
Paige Apano. No, Jeff Monson.
That was Jeff Munson. Yeah.
He might have got mad in his match with Paige Apano. I don't remember, but
Yeah,
it was
whatever
Jeff,
it was.
it was Jeff Monson. Yeah, I remember that.
He was just like running down. He was like, "This was, here. All right, chronologically? This was the most ridiculous moment, and then this was the most ridiculous moment." And he was
I remember that moment, dude.
Yeah.
I was pretty early in my jiu-jitsu career when that happened. I was like white belt Rob or blue belt Rob. I remember that happening.
Yeah, that was funny. He was like, and he didn't get banned. He was like, we don't ban people. There were like some dude, I guess, had fucking. What the fuck? Something like trying to get in the show, and then like he wouldn't let him in, so he told him to like suck his dick, like DMing back with Mo. And Mo's like, "That's it, you're banned." He's like, "Congratulations, you're probably the only dude that's ever been banned in ADCC." He's like, fucking Jeff Munson walked off the. It kept coming back up later on. He's like, "See, we didn't even ban Jeff Munson for walking off naked in the middle of a match, man." Like, it's really hard to get banned from ADCC. So.
Oh man, it's such a cool thing, how it came about too. It was just, I forget the Sheik's name, who was just a combat sport or grappling nut.
Yeah.
Who started it, and he just had a shit ton of money.
Well, apparently he went to school in San Diego. Mm-hmm. Mo was telling the story that he went to school in San Diego and he was doing jiu-jitsu there, and no one knew who he was. And he just started out, he was a white belt sweeping the mats. No one had any fucking clue who he was.
And fucking $1 trillion.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He was just like, he just did it. But he like fell in love with jiu-jitsu and the whole thing, and that was it. And then when he graduated and he goes back home and he's like, hey,
I don't have any training partners.
Right.
Let's just fly all the best guys in the world out here.
Yeah. Comes back in balling like, "Hey, remember me?" Like, yeah, I got a few dollars. I want to take this jiu-jitsu thing back home. And yeah, that's cool. And it is. It's like a charity for jiu-jitsu. I mean, they do not make money on it. They lose money on the whole thing. It's just he doesn't give a fuck because
he just appreciates it. He wants to see the best grapplers in the world.
Yep. Yeah. So that is cool to like have an organization that literally that's their focus.
Find out who's best.
Yeah, that's it. There's no money. There's no bottom line worried about. It's like 16 best grapplers in each weight division, and get after it.
I guess that Orlando. Do you know who Orlando Sanchez is? Big bald-headed guy, huge motherfucker. He's a GB guy. He's been in the ADCC a few times now.
Yeah.
At least once, if not a couple, 3 times. And he's not one of my favorite grapplers to watch anything, but I guess he's walking around with 325 pounds right now. He's always been a guy who's got a big belly on him, but I don't know if he's just been on some sort of bulking phase or whatever. But yeah, I guess he's like 325 coming into ADCC.
Fuck, man. Wow.
What do you do with that? I mean, that's like the Buchecha division, because Buchecha's a big son of a bitch too. But yeah, 325 pounds. And he's a high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu. Like, what the fuck do you do with that?
I don't know. That'll be interesting.
That'd be interesting to see.
Someone will figure something out.
Yeah, he's never won it. I think he's taken silver or something.
Yeah.
But, so people find the answer.
Yeah.
It ain't never easy.
No. Huh. It's interesting. Yeah, relying on your size or anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. You'll have to keep me updated. I'll forget about it, and then you'll tell me. That's right, we'll be watching it during drilling.
We'll be watching it, yeah. That's Saturday.
I know. Man, yeah, Kiela's going to be gone.
All week.
Coming back next Monday. Going out to Hawaii, visit her dad. So, it's, it's cool. Glad she gets to go out and hang out, see her dad, and hang out with her brother, go surfing. It's, it's nice that her family, does, like, I don't know, they do stuff like that. It's, that they still enjoy each other's company and have something like surfing that they do together. And, that's one thing I'll definitely, say, like with my family. We never really had that activity that we did together that was like, we could do, all the way through, that kind of kept us, that touchstone thing. And so it's easy if you don't have that to, it's hard to stay as engaged, I guess.
Does her dad still surf? I know
Yeah.
does he?
Yeah,
That's
man.
awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because he's probably, mid-60s, I would just guess.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, at least.
Yep. Oh, no, he still gets out there.
Hell
Old
yeah,
Craig
dude. That's awesome.
Surfs and golfs. That's all he does. His movement vocabulary is pretty limited. But within those things,
he's good.
He's got it still going on, man.
That's awesome.
So, he's been doing it all his life. So, and surfing's one of those things that, it's physically demanding, but you can... you don't got to go out there and like surf the Noir.
Waves, yeah.
Right, yeah. You can go out there and have a mellow time and have fun. So it's something that you can do for a long time, yeah, like into your old age, for sure. It's like jiu-jitsu, it doesn't have to be, it may change over time, shit that happens with everything, but you can still do it, so, but yeah, it's cool. I'm glad she gets a chance to go out there and do that with them.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Speaking of family, my family's coming out in a couple weeks, like the first weekend in October.
Oh, that's right.
And my mom, my dad, my sister, my 2 little nieces, my brother. My brother's family's not coming because he's just dropping in for a couple days. My brother's actually coming and staying with me.
You're going to have like a dinner and then like invite select people over to meet the family?
No. It's not going down.
I was trying to figure out if you're going to make it easy on me to meet everybody.
Nope.
But no, all right. I'm going to have to track them down and embarrass
We might
you.
do so. We'll have to see. I guess because like my brother's flying in for a real short period. Like he's getting in on Friday. And I don't know if there's like some sort of family activity we got to do Friday night because they're coming in for my niece's wedding.
on
Saturday night. So
right.
That goes down on Saturday. So I don't know if there's something on Friday night we got to do as some sort of family function, and then I know Saturday's taken up. Yeah, Saturday's the whole wedding and reception deal, and then shoot, my brother flies back out like Sunday morning. He's just popping in, popping out.
Yeah.
But, and the whole Eickhoff clan's coming to Colorado.
It's awesome, man. Have they been here before?
Yeah, my mom and dad, when we moved out here, they actually helped us move out here. They drove out here with us. My brother, I think my brother's been here once, like early on or so, 10 years ago or so, if I remember right. I think he has. My sister's never been out here. I don't even think my sister's ever been to Colorado. My little nieces, they're like 9 and 10 or somewhere in that ballpark. They've never been out here. So it'd be cool they get to see the mountains. They've never seen the mountains before, so.
Yeah, how long are they staying?
They're gonna be in town for like a week.
Oh, cool.
They actually rented a condo up in Beaver Creek, Avon.
Wow. Okay.
So there's that way they're staying someplace nice.
So are they like staying here and like going up there half the time?
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be like here in Junction for a couple days for the wedding activities, but then after that, they'll go up and hang out in the mountains for the rest of the week.
It's fucking cold.
That's not too cold up there yet. It did snow.
Look at you, dude. You've lived in Colorado long enough to know how quick this shit changes.
I keep an eye on the weather, buddy.
No, I know.
It's not too bad.
It's not going to be warm, though.
No, it's still up, up in the higher elevations. They're getting a little bit of frost.
We're not going to be, worried about blizzards, but
no,
they're not going to be walking around in like short sleeves. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm up in the mountains every day, still working in short sleeves and shorts.
That's you, though, man.
Yeah.
Cold training.
Yeah, that's right.
So
character building, but
yeah. What's it like up in Old Telluride? What's the?
It's beautiful right now.
Yeah.
It's so nice up there. Most of the tourists have gone home.
Right.
Temperature's nice. It's mild. And most of the days it's like 60s, 50s, 60s.
Oh, nice.
Sunny. It's Colorado.
Yeah.
It gets chilly at night, but it's still not getting much below freezing up there.
Right.
Not yet. Give it another couple weeks.
Huh.
So
that's cool.
It's good. This is a real nice time. Fall and spring are so nice in Colorado.
Yeah, I know, man.
It's beautiful.
It was so nice today. I gotta get out for a ride this week.
Yeah.
Somehow figure out how I'm gonna fit that in around Kelly being gone and getting the kids. Yes. I'm gonna have to put my schedule, make sure I put a reminder on my phone to pick up Z every day.
You got sole responsibility, sole parenting responsibility.
Yeah.
For the week.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to it. It'll be fun. we'll have some fun. You know, Dad's always... I'm not Mom, so I gotta cut some corners here and there.
That's right.
So I was telling Keely, she's like, oh, I gotta find some stuff for you to cook. And I'm like, look, I don't know what that means. It's like steaks, hot dogs, and eating out, right? That's right. What cooking is.
That's what Dad does.
That's what Dad does. So let's not overcomplicate these things.
And don't be giving me any recipes. I can sort this out.
Oh, I know. That's why she was like, I'm going to go to the store and get some food for you to make dinners. And I was like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? What kind of work are you getting me into?
Right.
Peeling and chopping shit?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about?
I just want to make sure, like, what is your idea of getting me food to make dinners? I just, want to make sure. And then anyways, it was funny though, because it's like, look, without some context, like, I don't know whether to be happy or a little apprehensive or what. So, what do you mean? And so, yeah, that's when I was like, hot dogs and steaks and eating out. So she's like, well, okay, that's fine. Here, I got this down. And so we got dinners going. She's going to the store to get me some food lined up.
Nice.
She said she wants to set me up for success.
It's good.
Yes.
She's looking out for you.
I know, yeah.
They got boxes of mac and cheese on sale at City Market right now. That and some bratwurst.
Yeah.
It's good.
Some bratwurst is good.
Bratwurst and mac and cheese.
Yeah.
It's not a bad meal.
It's not a bad meal.
Sounds like a dad meal.
Man, mac and cheese is a lot of work. You gotta pull that
Shiloh can make it mac and cheese. If not, she needs to know how to make mac and cheese.
It's true. She can boil. She makes rice for us.
Yeah.
She stays home from jiu-jitsu. We're like, all right, the trade-off is you gotta make the rice. So when we get home, it's ready to eat. Don't gotta do that. But it'll be. We'll survive. I don't think that she'll come back and the kids will be starving.
You gonna let them watch some scary movies? My dad always used to. That was one of my dad things. Like, he would let me watch movies and stuff that my mom wouldn't let me watch.
Right.
Like scary movies. That's how I got into like Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris movies. It was always Chuck Norris movies, man. My dad would, oh yeah, let's put on Delta Force. I'd be 5 years old watching Chuck Norris walking around fucking people up. So then I'd go try to jump kick my sister, and then I get in trouble.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe letting him watch Rambo wasn't a good idea. Sometimes I'll let Z watch some of those things. It's nostalgic for me.
Hell yeah.
It's fucking, like, educational for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, he sees it differently.
Oh, that's how you do that. So, no, I mean, it's funny, the scary movie thing. It's funny you mentioned that. Shiloh, in her matter-of-fact way, told me the other day, she's like, I think I'm going to be ready to watch a scary movie in October.
She's preparing herself.
Yes. I'm like, really? She's
what
like,
kind of level scary?
I don't know. She's like, yeah, isn't that when all the scary movies come out around Halloween time? And I'm like, yes. I mean, there's scary movies that you can watch all the time, but yes, Halloween.
It's kind of this time of year.
Halloween's definitely the time of year when the scary movies are. I have no clue, man.
Dude, I like scary movies. I'll have to preview some. Because I was actually, what's funny is, I kind of been thinking about that lately. I actually watched a Rob Zombie movie last night. You don't want her to watch one of those.
No.
Those are pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Those are a little much for a 14-year-old brain. But I'll check out the newer version of Halloween that came out in like 2018. The old Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I'll watch that and see if that's kid acceptable.
I'm sure it's not.
I'm
sure for her, the original Halloween would be like, maybe right there. That might be a good one for her.
But I don't know. It's weird because I was actually thinking about this. So when it comes to scary movies, like the closer it gets to reality and your brain thinks that it might happen, then it gets a little bit freakier. When it's really weird and twisted. You can disassociate
from outer space. We were watching that last night.
I was watching the one I was watching last night. It's called the title of the movie is 31, just like the numbers 31, 31 aka 31, like spelled out. That's a weird ass name. It is a fucked up movie. It is good, but it is fucked up. But it's so like just like out there and just violent as all get out. Like it's not scary, it doesn't make you jump just because like you're just expecting fucked up shit to constantly happen through the movie, so you're like, all right. I mean, it's a little weird, but it's not scary. But like you watch Halloween to where some masked dude's like sneaking up on you, you open your closet and he's got a fucking machete coming at you. To me, those ones are scarier.
So
I don't know.
I hear what you mean. I know.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like the ones that are like a little over the top are like, all right. Like, God, what was the one, dude? There was one that I actually got in trouble for, because the store that I worked at, I liked the movie so much, I borrowed the movie and like just kind of kept it and didn't have it. God, what was it, man? It was some cheesy ass old school horror movie. But yeah, I know what you mean. It was just like so like over the top that you're just like, all right, this isn't even scary. This is kind of ridiculous. But no, for me, it's more just like the how realistic is like the gore, because like that's where I think, because like for Z, watching the face melt in Indiana Jones freaked him out.
Yeah.
So for like Shiloh, that's not a big deal. But, watching some really realistic, like graphic thing happen versus like more of the psychological type thing, like the old school where it's like you don't really see it, or you see it,
it's just implied.
It's implied, or it's not like over the top like graphic, but it's more like, yeah, it's scary.
Well, that's what I'm wondering about the newer Halloween, the remake there. I guess it's not a remake, it's kind of like a sequel. I don't know. That's why I'll watch it. I don't know if I think it's more the implied type stuff. I don't think it's super graphic.
There's no way.
You don't think so?
In this generation of Saw, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, but see, I don't think it's on the same...
No, it's not the same. I just mean that, like, Saw raised the bar so that even, like, what people consider to be, like, not, hey, this is a psychological thriller, it's like, no. Like, that used to be, like, really graphic over, the top stuff.
They did change.
Yeah, the genre changed. And just as the ability for them to represent the gore... And that's what Saw was, really. It was just like, hey, we can do this. Let's do it. Yeah, if we're going to do it, like, let's go after it. And it's just, the technology has changed. It's, you watch shit and, like cheesy old 80s movies and everything. It's like a puppet or like they had to physically do it. And there's only so much you can do with that, with makeup and stuff.
But back then, I was freaked out. I remember watching Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, that freaked me out when I was a kid. I dug it, dude. I've always liked scary movies, and I still to this day like them.
Yeah.
I really like them. It's a cool genre.
I like them. For me, I'll be honest, I don't like movies that are just like over the top gory. Like, like to me, it's almost like, just like gangster rap that just cusses just constantly. It's just like, all right, come on, man. Like, we need a little artistic vision here. Blood for the sake of blood is cool, but eventually, like, we need a story here. But there's something to that. Like seeing, like, oh fuck, dude, what is that? Like, there's that, the car wreck thing. You don't want to see it, but you can't help but take a look.
So what kind of movie are you thinking for Shiloh? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that. I think like the original Halloween or something like in that vein. Like maybe even like, dude, like an old Friday the 13th. Like
those are Nightmare on Elm Street, the Freddy Krueger ones.
Man, Nightmare on Elm Street may be a hair much.
But see, I wonder, being that it's so old and the effects, special effects are so crappy nowadays.
Yeah.
At the time, they were great.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it.
Yeah, I'd have to
I'm just thinking back to like because you remember like Friday the 13th came first, and the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
So like the technology, the horror technology had advanced.
Right.
The original Friday the 13th. The one before they even had Jason. It was his fucking mom that was doing all the killing. Like that's almost like cheesy, like it was scary psychologically, but it was almost like cheesy as well. And so that's why I think like those early Friday the 13th had that cheesy element, and they weren't like, they were a little gory, but not like that, the over the top style. But then like Nightmare on Elm Street, man, was like, I think that one was fucking significantly scarier.
That one scared me.
Dude, that fucked with your head.
I'd have to look at the dates when that came out, but I remember watching that being about 12 years old or so. That fucked me up. But I always dug it. Like, I didn't mind. I remember once I got to about 12, 13, like, I always thought nightmares were kind of cool because I'd wake up and I was able to disassociate. I'd wake up and be like, oh, I'm good. You know, I'm at home. My mom and dad are here. I'm cool. No big deal. But that takes a little practice.
It does.
You got to understand because you're gonna. I like watching a scary movie that's good enough to give me some nightmares. Even as an adult, even now, dude, I'm like, oh, I'll wake up in the middle of the night like all startled, like, oh, that was good.
Dude, I remember, it's funny, man, like probably, because I haven't watched a whole lot of horror movies lately, and one of the reasons, like, Keely does not like horror movies, so it's just not a whole lot of opportunities, but, dude, the Blair Witch Project, the original Blair Witch Project.
You like that?
Man, like, I mean, did you see it when it originally came out?
When it first came out.
I mean, it was different, right? Because, I mean, remember, like, you didn't know. You did not know if this was, like, real or not. Like, looking back, it seems ridiculous, right? In the world that we live in today, it's like, get the fuck out of here. How did you not know that was fake? But, like...
At the time.
You didn't know, man. The internet and Snopes and all that shit was not what it is today. And, like, they did a really good job with the rumor. And, like, the thing that, like, messed me up was I was living... with my grandparents at the time for the summer, and they had a house by a lake in the woods. And so I remember, man, like walking, there was a stretch from their house to the road, and across the road was the lake and the dock and stuff. And from the road on was lit up. But man, there was a stretch, a little like long driveway through the woods. It was fucking dark. And man, it never bothered me before. Then I saw that fucking movie.
Got you thinking.
And God damn it, I was pissed at myself too. You know what I mean? Because you're like, I know better.
Right.
But dude, I can't stop thinking like, dude, there's something that was fucking, like, what's that sound?
Yeah.
Like, dude, if something makes a sound right now, like, I'm going to lose my shit. And you're just like, oh my God, my lizard brain is going crazy. And you know it. It's happening, man. But I hate to admit it, but man, I was like, you know.
I love that feeling. That's part of why I like scary movies, man. I'm the same way, dude. It's so hard to find, like, I always end up having to watch them by myself because not too many people like them.
Right, yeah.
You know, so like you said, finding the opportunity to watch them, like, it's not easy, you know, but yeah, they're fucking good. I wonder if It, remember the original It? You know, Stephen King?
Yeah, when the Antarctic Research Station. Yeah, that one was a good one.
Yep.
That was a good one. Dude, maybe even just like go back even old school and take her to fucking the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
No, that's not, that'd be like comical. That wouldn't even be scary.
Like, you gotta know your history though, man. You start from the classics.
Yeah.
Creatures, fucking the old Dracula and Frankenstein movies.
Those are just kind of classics now. It's hard to believe they were even scary movies. Yeah,
I know. But so, anyways, we'll figure it out.
Hopefully, she likes them. It's a cool genre of movies to get into.
It is.
Yeah, as long as you just go in knowing they're not real.
They're not.
I'm saying this out loud for you, Shiloh. So if you listen to this podcast, like, as long as you just enjoy it, they're not real. Boom, you can just be done with it. And just enjoy being scared. Like, it's all right to be scared. It's good for you.
And then know that you'll have to deal with some, side effects later.
Yeah, you might have some nightmares, but that's part of the entertainment.
Part of the entertainment.
That's a gift that keeps on giving.
That's right. You gotta learn to control those bad boys.
That's right.
Yeah, that is right, man. So, well, we'll see. Keely will come back and we'll see what will have transpired. Of course.
I'll do a little research. I want to watch. I almost watched the newer Halloween last night, but I decided to go with Rob Zombie because I really like his movies.
Yeah.
They're violent and gory. Like the Devil's. Out of all of them I've seen, I like the Devil's Rejects the best. That's a good one. It's over the top, but it's awesome. But this one was pretty violent. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I queued up Halloween. I think they had it on like Hulu on HBO add-on or something, so I put that in my watch list.
Dude, I used to watch those shit. Like, remember The Hills Have Eyes?
Oh yeah, dude, that's a good one. That's kind of
a good one, man.
Dude, that might be a good one to go with.
Freaky one.
Yeah.
But it was a little on that borderline of like almost like so ridiculous.
Right, but it could be real if you let your mind go a little bit. You're like, oh, that might happen. You know?
Oh shit, that's right.
I wonder if that holds up because that movie's kind of old now. That's got to be 15 years old.
Yeah.
If not more.
I'm sure it does, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just going into it knowing it is what it is.
Yeah.
But, it's funny how many old-ass horror movies.
I forgot about that one. That was a good one.
That was a good one. I know. I got a bunch in my mind that I remember watching. I can't remember the fucking names of them, though.
Yeah.
Just like...
You have to go Google it, pull them up, go IMDb, and you'll start remembering them. That's what I was doing last night. I was playing some video games, and I was like, you know what? I want to watch a scary-ass movie. And then I just, boom, I jumped on Netflix, started searching, and then Amazon. I was like, okay, where do I find it? Oh, here we go. I found a bunch of them. But, yeah.
That is funny, man. So, yeah, I actually I signed up for the Xbox Live thing so I could play the new Gears of War. It's like part of so I could get 2 months for $2.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of going out and buying it for $60, I can just play it. But I saw your sniper game.
Sniper Elite?
Yep, it is on there. Sniper Elite 4 or something like that, isn't it?
That's what I'm playing.
Yeah. I'm like, oh,
it's fun,
yes, dude. He's running around Italy like shooting fascists.
Yep. And there's actually some of the boards you're shooting organized crime boss.
Nice.
So you're fighting Nazis and also organized crime people. So it's all good.
It's next when I get done with the new Gears. I'll download that and snipe some people.
It's fun.
Yeah. I always like sniping, man. Even when I play like first-person shooters or whatever, even third-persons, whatever, I like to have a sniper rifle in my inventory so I can just hang out and headshot people.
This one's cool too because you got 3 separate weapons. You got a sniper rifle, you got a pistol, and then you got a machine gun. Yeah. And you can swap, you can get different types of each. You can swap the machine gun out for like a shotgun. That one's fun. You got to get up close and personal.
Yeah.
Got some good damage to it, and that's fun. So if you get bored, like, I want to get in and get a little more fast-paced action. Instead of staying out sniping people, you sneak up on them. And
it's got that option, though. Yeah. I like the option. You can at least like thin them out from a distance, and then maybe go in and mop up a few people.
Exactly. Yeah. Dude, I had so much fun because I'll set traps. Like, okay, I'll take out a couple from the distance so I can sneak up to like a little stronghold, a little base, and then I'll sneak into that and like set up trip mines. And I always get a kick out of that. So then I get them to come in after me, and I kill them with the trip mines and shit. It's so fun.
That's funny,
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is interesting how much joy you take out of electronic destruction and death. But it never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
It never gets old.
I'm fucking 40 years old. Last night I was doing that. I was killing people with trip mines, and I was like, no, I want to watch a horror movie. So then I watched the Rob Zombie movie.
Oh, yeah, man. It's awesome.
Then my mind was warped by about 10 o'clock at night. I was like, all right, I watched a Rob Zombie movie and just went right to bed.
You're trying to sleep after that. That's funny. So, and speaking of which, so I have to preface this with just saying up front, yes, you were right. But, so I got a chili pad.
Oh, nice.
And it's fucking awesome. But you were right. You need the Euler system. And so, I'm going to get one of those. I'm actually returning it to get the Euler system.
How come?
Because having the ability to set that thing to warm up in the morning is key.
I bet.
It's not really even optional. And it's hard to describe, but, it's definitely worth it. The chili pad, even if you just get the chili pad, that little minor inconvenience is minor, right? You got a remote on it. Mm-hmm. If you wake up and you're like, oh man, I wish it was a little warmer, you just hit the thing and you're good to go. But yeah, man, it's really nice, and it's interesting because of the way that it cools the pad under your sheet. And so it's not air blowing on you. So you set the temperature to 65, and it's not like having 65-degree air blowing on you. It's just...
Is it water running through the pad?
Yeah. And so it's basically literally just maintaining the temperature under the covers.
Yep.
And so it just keeps your body heat from fucking skyrocketing. And man, I have not woken up hot once. That is at least the worst. You wake up in the middle of the night, sweating, and you're hot. Yeah. And once you're hot, you can't go back to fucking sleep. No, you're gonna have to fucking get up and let the bed cool off and let yourself
drink
cool
water
off.
Or something,
do something before you get back into bed. And that's the worst. And dude, that does not happen with that thing. That is gone.
I knew that thing would be a game changer.
Fucking game changer, man, for sure. And so, but I have consistently woken up at about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not cold, right? I'm not sitting there oh, I'm cold. I'm just okay, this isn't comfortable anymore. This temperature's not comfortable. I wish I was just a little, the temperature's a little higher, and then I'll set it to 70, and then I'll go back to sleep. You know, I got
And
my
then you
alarm
wake
set
up.
for 7, and it's fucking perfect. It's like it's cool. And so like I know that if I could just set it at like around 5:45, 6 o'clock to raise up to 70, 75, then it would
You'd wake
be
up
great.
and you'd be good.
Yeah, I wouldn't have that little thing. Like I said, it's hard to describe. I'm not waking up cold. It's just not comfortable.
Right.
And so it's...
And if you have the ability to do it the other way, why not?
Exactly. But like I said, if I got the remote, then I'm like, it's fine. So, but yeah, if you can...
It's funny. It's kind of... I was just assuming that would be nice. I have no experience.
Yeah.
Except for going to the website, looking at it, and almost clicking purchase and talking myself out of it. And because I thought about all those things, just like I talked about there last week. And so I wasn't too far off. Then.
No, man, no. And the other thing is that it's self-cleaning. It uses UV light to clean itself. The other unit, the chili pad unit, you've got to get a cleaner that they sell and like once a month put it in just to kind of just keep like,
the water clean or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you use distilled water, but they just suggest like cleaning it. I don't know what the
Makes
fuck
sense.
for. But yeah, so this one's got a UV thing that
filtration
cleans it.
system on
so
there.
Yeah, so you don't have to do all that, and it's a little lower profile.
So you're sending that one back?
Yeah. I'm
gonna get the Uller?
I got the other one. It's on the way. So when
Nice,
he gets here, I'm actually what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have Kiele try my chili pad unit to see what she thinks, and then she might either keep that or we might order an Uller.
Oh,
for
so
her.
you just got one side?
Yeah.
Because Kelly stays. She likes it.
She says she wakes up cold.
Does she?
Yeah, and I'm like, and it's hilarious because she's looking at me like, I can't even imagine waking up hot. Trying to imagine you wanting this to be this cold. It just blows my mind, and I'm looking at her like, I can't even imagine you. Like, how do you wake up cold? You got 5 blankets on you. And so I told her I think that it'll help, and when she, I don't think she realized that you could use it to
stay warm.
Right? You can set it to like 80, 85. Right. It goes up to like 110.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
If you sleep better warm, you can make it
exactly
warm.
Set it whatever you want. So we're gonna let her try that, and then if she likes it, we'll, like I said, decide what to do. But yeah, at the very least, I'm gonna return that and get the Uller unit so I can.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, man, you should be.
Well, if I wasn't getting into alpine touring this year and having to buy a bunch of ski gear.
Is that what you're getting into?
I already got the skis ordered. I got Joel, our buddy Joel, gets me a good deal on bindings.
So you're doing like cross country? Like, what do you mean?
Well, alpine touring is it's like downhill skis. And the bindings, they can operate just like down alpine bindings to where your heel is clicked in. And so when you're skiing downhill, you can ski just like a regular alpine ski. But if you want to release your heel, and then your boot functions like a cross-country ski. So then if you want to trek uphill or go into some backcountry stuff, you can cross-country on in, boom, lock your heel back in, and you can ski. So you're not telemarking. You don't have a free heel all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been jonesing to get back into skiing.
Nice.
So like I said, I grew up skiing. I started skiing when I was like 7, 8 years old.
Right,
and I did that all the way up. I just started snowboarding like 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. And I was like, I want to get back into skiing. And I've always wanted to get into the touring setup, they call it, so I can get the exercise. Because I can go backcountry stuff, or I can go up to the ski resort, and they call it skinning up. Instead of riding chairlift up, I can skin up the side of the mountain, and then, ski down. So it's a hell of a workout. So
Sweet.
So yeah, that's taking up a lot of funds. I don't need to be buying an Uller pad on top of skis and bindings and boots. That's a bit. It's like mountain biking. Hey, I love skiing, but man, it's an expensive fucking hobby, man.
Yeah, at least you're gonna do it half-ass. Like you can get some decent gear.
Oh yeah, you want decent gear. You don't. You can't.
You don't want to trust your fucking life on the cheapest shit you can find.
You do not want to bargain shop when it comes to that activity.
Like cheap, light, or strong. Choose two.
Yep.
It's like, well, I'm not fucking rich enough to afford like light and strong, so it's like it's gonna be cheap and heavy, or like
exactly.
It's gonna have, but yeah,
you gotta make some compromises.
Gotta make compromises. So yeah, that's how it works. But yeah, so well, cool. But when you do get your funds for it, I highly recommend it. I don't think, if anybody listening to this has considered it or thought about it, like I give it my endorsement for sure. I mean, if you have issues with waking up at night because you're too hot or too cold. Like I said, it's really interesting how it does it. It's not blowing air on you. So I've seen like the ones where they've got the jet where they're blowing air.
That's no good, man.
No. So, no, that's the way to go. The Uller.
But this time of year is so nice anyways. It gets down to like 50 degrees at night, dude. I got my bedroom window like almost wide open.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, but I sleep so good, dude. I love this time of year.
I can't do that. It's not going to work.
Kia's not going to allow that, huh?
Yeah. I haven't had to turn on the fan. Like, you usually get up in the middle of the night and have to turn on my fan because I start to get hot. Mm-hmm. And so, like, that's one thing she's all pumped on. She's like, you're not turning on the fan at night because that, makes her cold. And I'm like, no, I don't need to. Like, the bed is a perfect temperature. I'm good. And so, yeah, no, it's, I can't do that. But I got my blackout curtains. I got my daylight alarm.
That's just like me.
Pad.
See, I don't have the chili pad. I got the blackout curtains, the daylight alarm.
Oh, yeah, the daylight alarm's good.
That's good, dude. That's money.
It works. I haven't missed it. I mean, it wakes you up.
Yep.
So
surprisingly,
especially if you do a good job of making your room dark.
Yep.
I think like that's one of the keys because it's so obvious if you're in the super dark room and all of a sudden this fucking light is there. It's like, whoa, what's that light? And like even if it takes you a second to recognize, it's like you're going to recognize like there's a light in here and I need to wake up. And it seems silly as shit, but it is way better than waking up to an alarm.
God, waking up to an alarm is just so violent.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
You're just getting like you're jarring your sympathetic nervous system right off the bat. I mean, there's just like, whoa, what's going on here? Versus this like, even if the light wakes you up, but it's not this like startled thing where you're looking around for like, what the fuck's that noise? Where do I
SWAT?
Yeah, where do I turn that thing off, man? And it's like, oh, this is nice. Like, oh, I'm awake and the light's on, and you just leave it on, and then you just might lie there for a second.
Kind of like lay there, like, all right, I got to get up, think about it for a second.
Dude, that's right. We were thinking about you last night. We were watching the old horror movie Love Bites, and there's a vampire in it, and he goes to go to bed, and he just did like. I was like,
I wish I fell asleep like
Shiloh's like, it's like Rob. And I'm like, yeah. And then he does the reverse when he wakes up, just boom.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Speaking of that, I was due for some new prescription glasses, man. And so I went to the eye doctor today, and they actually offer blue light blocking coating on your lenses now.
Yeah.
Got those coming, buddy.
Those, nice.
Insurance pays for them, so it's all good.
That's good, man.
So I'll have blue light blocking glasses.
See how that goes for you.
Yeah.
Oh, so now I got the athletic greens. I did order some.
Oh, that's right. You asked me about that.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard a lot about them, and they're
not cheap.
They're not cheap, man. It's like $90 a month. So you're talking like $3 a day. So I'm gonna try it for a couple months and see. I mean, it definitely tastes good. Mm-hmm. So compared to a lot of greens powders. So I got my little greens mix. I got the athletic greens, and I got the kratom bar right there. Throwing a couple scoops of white Mangda, throwing my creatine. Drink that down. Ready to rock and roll for the morning. But so anyways, we'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's really worth $90. I'm probably gonna get tired of spending that money on that.
I'll just eat some vegetables. It's cheaper.
Good for you. You know what it is? So this is my pee stick kept telling me that my blood was, too acidic, or my pH was too acidic. So what I'm going to do is take this stuff for a few weeks, and then I got one more pee stick.
And see if it
I'm going to see if it affects
changes.
it. And so, again, I don't know. I don't know why I'm trusting this pee stick that I don't know how accurate it is.
Hey, fuck it.
But that was like the one thing. It consistently was like, dude, your blood's acidic. And I'm like, I try to eat fruits and vegetables, but it is just... Like, I'm from Oklahoma, man. Vegetables are potatoes. I
see. I need to eat more vegetables. I do pretty good about it. I change it up. Like, I was eating bok choy this week. I still got some at home. I made some Brussels sprouts for next week. I try to vary, but I should eat more. I eat more fruits. Right. I really like berries. Raspberries and blackberries in my jam. Put them in with some Greek yogurt. Dude, it's so good.
Oh, yeah, man. Fruits are good.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, I eat a salad almost every day. So, I mean, I'm definitely eating veggies. I'm eating probably more than your average American, but it's not as much as I know that I should be.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I should be eating more.
Yeah. And so that's kind of it's interesting because, you feel fine, but there are like things, it's like HRV, right? Like that's, so like those P strips, the Vivu P strips, it's like, is that kind of like a little like, metabolic, or biological HRV type thing? Like, I feel okay, but
could I be feeling
is
better?
there something going on underneath the surface that, right, like is leading to something down the road? Like, because there are, like, when things physically manifest themselves, like they didn't just start yesterday. Like there was usually signs of it, somewhere in the body, in the metabolism or, the HRV or whatever that was signaling this was going to happen. And so like blood work, right? Mm-hmm. Like getting your blood work done. Like you can tell like, oh, you've got a deficiency here. It's like, well, I feel all right. And it's like, well, you're not going to feel all right in 6 months if we don't fix this. And so, I guess my point is as we get more tools, because like it used to be like, all right, what's your body fat percentage? Right? That was pretty much it. It's like, you're at a healthy body fat percentage, so you're fine. And then it's like, well, you're eating like shit. Oh, it's okay. I'm a healthy body fat percentage. Well, now they're like, well, you can see that it affects hormones and your metabolism and other things. So like you may be like look healthy and your body fat percentage is healthy, but there's other things that you can look at. So that was my motivation really, was like, fuck, did this thing give me a window into something and I have a problem I need to fix, and like, is this going to fix the problem? So we'll see where it leads me. We'll see where it leads me.
Interesting.
Yeah. That was my motivation. My acid pee. I can use it as a weapon if I need to.
I guess.
Yeah. Never know.
Alright. You want to call that a wrap, man?
Yeah, man. I think so.
It's Sunday night. I want to
I
want to get home, get
definitely.
to bed. My alarm goes off at 5:15.
Yeah. So.
My sleep is important.
No, it is important, man. I know it's important. I was just telling motherfuckers today how important sleep is. Yep. So that's why I've invested in a chili pad for my sleep.
Yep.
So.
Cool.
All right.
Let's call it a wrap.
We'll call it a wrap.
All right.
Talk to you about it later. See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Thank you all for listening. You can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It really does help and will allow us to keep putting out episodes. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, hit us up at grumpyguybjj@gmail.com. Also, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com, and get signed up for podcast updates and get our free BJJ Improvement Starter Kit. That's it for now, so get on the mat, train hard, and talk to you all next week.
With a permanent friend, a hermit now, boom. Doggy stool, foggy, cool, got a froggy outside Molly dude. Melancholy Daisy Duke, hanging by the lace of their shoes. No trace of the tools, shaped into face, fuck the rules. Snooze, you lose. One eye always open, in times two, no clue, but soon a brief monsoon might give you a view to choose. Stay tuned, include